I'm Davie.
I'm Misti.
DM Watts.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it. What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of DM Watts. I am Davie.
I'm Misti.
And we are DM Watts. So you guys may notice that I got my little Superman glasses going on. I mean, apparently,
Can you see my finger?
Yes, I see both of them. So I say the optometrist didn't know what the hell he was talking about, but whatever. I got glasses now.
You look like Superman.
Yeah, I do. And it's kind of one of those things. It's just like, you know, I'm Davie, and then when I take these off, I'm D from DM Watts. Davie, D from DM Watts.
He's been doing this all day.
I have, and I think it's pretty
So for
cool.
those of you that aren't watching the video, he's taking
it's
off his
my glasses,
glasses
that's right.
and on his glasses.
Right, I'm
and
D right now, but now
when he got the glasses,
I'm Davie right now.
It was a GQ shoot.
Yeah.
And the guy at the place was just laughing. Like,
That's
he couldn't stop laughing.
Because say you guys ever notice it, you know, people without video, I'm sure you can understand where we're coming from. You ever get those guys with glasses that they got it, or even females with glasses that they got to use the glasses for every stage in their life? Like when they're sitting there and you ask them a question, it's like, they take the glasses off, put the thing in their mouth. You know what? I think I know exactly what you mean. It's like, no, you don't.
And that's how you lost your glasses last time.
That is probably how I lost them.
Because you kept taking them off to think.
But then again, it's like, you know, everybody's looking at people with glasses like, why are you taking your glasses off? I didn't ask you to look at this. And even if I did ask you to look at this, when you need the glasses to look at what I'm showing you, why would you take them off to think about
Davie's glasses, his new toy.
Yeah, we're putting them back on.
Brought to you by getting older.
Yeah. Whatever. I embrace it. I am 40 years old and happy. So
we're not going to talk about how old I am.
Hey, whatever. I'm 40. I can go ahead and throw it out there. So
You're the chick on Saturday Night Live. I'm 50 years old.
Hey, whatever.
I kick, stretch, and kick.
Hey, whatever.
That's you at 40.
As long as you know it. But I was going to say 40, not 50. Hold on. When I reach 50, I'd be the same age. I'm not saying that. So you know, I'm not saying it. Not you, baby. No, you're nowhere near 50.
Thank you.
Yeah, nowhere near 50.
Okay.
Of course not.
As long as everybody knows that.
Yeah.
DM Watts Podcast at gmail.com. Attention, Davie.
I feel like I put my foot in my mouth and everybody gets a chance to throw that out there because make no mistake, you guys have definitely showed me how you feel about it.
It's a chance for them to help you extract the lower extremity.
And that's the that goes without response. And so yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, real quick, DM Watts Podcast. Y'all look behind us, check it out. For those who can't see us on the video, DM Watts Podcast, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, the Gram, YouTube, all that. DM Watts Podcast. And before we get started, we're gonna say Dogecoin to the moon. So you know the deal.
Dogecoin to the moon.
You guys already know we are Dogers. So Dogecoin to the moon.
We are Dogers.
We are Dogers. What do they call it? Holder? HOLD. I'm like hodlers. I don't even know what that means. I'm like, are you trying to say hold the line?
Yeah.
Or hold? Like why? I don't.
We're like Horador for.
Hold door.
Hodor.
Anybody who watch Game of Thrones know what we getting at. So
I remember.
It's really.
Something like that.
You're literally a Game of Thrones aholic like I am.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a Game of Holler.
Game of Thrones aholic.
Yeah,
like
that's something.
Hold door. So y'all know what it is. But anyway, yay. DM Watts Podcast, where we sit here and we do fishbowl topics right out the dome. It's like whatever we pull out of this fishbowl is a discussion. What we're gonna do.
I think they know that by now.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm just reminding them.
No.
As you guys,
It was a long weekend.
It was. If you can hear it on the microphone, you will hear my wife fiddling through the fishbowl. That's what she's doing, and she is pulling out. And if you can see her on video, you will see the anxiety in her face that she does not like pulling out from the fishbowl.
The bowl of anxiety. Here comes the topic.
So here she is. She is grabbing a topic from the fishbowl.
I can't open it.
Okay, well, this is all right. She's getting it out.
I had it backwards.
It's okay. She's getting it now.
I had a pink moment.
Yeah, but anyway, you know, fishbowl topics right out the dome. As I say, I'm not even gonna.
I legit can't open this piece of paper.
Okay, just what? Okay, all right, how about now? What you get?
Oh, okay. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
The topic of the day is guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasures, brought to you by DM Watts. So.
Brought to you by everything we do.
Yeah, guilty pleasures. So I feel like the first guilty pleasure is a well-known, so we might as well get it out of the way. Chocolate. For those, I mean,
But I don't feel guilty when I eat chocolate.
Well, you know,
Am
so
I supposed to?
but you know, then let's explore the term guilty pleasure.
Oreo.
Good, okay, that's chocolate too in a way.
Well, yeah,
I
it's
guess.
a cookie.
Yeah, it's a cookie. So, a guilty pleasure is something that you feel guilty, like, oh, I'm gonna get so fat eating this, but it's so good.
Okay, that's not my definition of guilt.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well,
No,
what's yours?
like I look at it as, hey, you know, I shouldn't take the time to do this for myself, or, you know, I shouldn't spend $10 on me, or that's what I look at is guilty. Eating a piece of chocolate is freaking health. It's safety.
Yeah.
It's sanity. Sometimes you just need a piece of chocolate,
Yeah.
and people won't get hurt.
And there's that. There's that. Everybody remember the Snickers commercial not going anywhere for a while? Does it? And
Hangry?
Yeah. And every one of those is like, hey, you remember the commercial? It's like, hey, eat this. You turn into a diva. Well, actually, we're on our own podcast. You turn into a bitch when you're hungry. So that's what it boils down to. So
Are you talking about me?
didn't say that. I was just
Oh, I
talking
was
about
about
the
to say,
commercial.
because he's absolutely right. I do. I'm
Yeah.
like, you have a countdown.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Hey,
And then there's another 5-minute warning. That's it. You get 10 minutes. And then at the 5-minute warning, it's like, dude,
yeah.
food.
Man, you see what she did there? I did not fall into the trap. I didn't say that's what she turns into. I was just saying in general. It's like, hey, you know,
It's true.
yeah, but that's anybody too. You know, that's not, you know what I mean? I like when they be like, hey, you know, feed a woman or like you're going to pay. Because that's to anybody. It's like a man too. It's like, you ever seen it? That's why they call it hangry. You know what I'm saying? It's hangry. I feel like in my own head, I feel like they substituted Hank for hangry.
Okay, but how do you define a guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, and well, you're right. So I guess when we said chocolate, I did it as the chocolate one versus.
Well, you
guilty
went back
pleasure.
to food.
Right. I guess we did.
I mean, DM Watts is about their food.
That's
and,
true.
And
Y'all already know that. Check the other episodes.
we could
if you
literally just have a podcast on food.
don't. Hey, we can keep that going for hours. So, but guilty pleasure, I think, is something that is one of those things that is not so much you feel guilt when you eat it, but it's more so it's like, wow, this is that thing that, man, I've been wondering. When I eat this, I feel so satisfied.
And we're back to the food.
I did say food, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Wow. Okay. See what I mean? I mean, well,
And we had dinner, people.
Yeah, I ate
We're not
already. I'm
starving.
not hungry. So well, okay. Well, let me try to bring it back.
Okay.
Guilty pleasure is something that when you, okay, I'm not gonna say, I was finna say eat it again. So let me go back. Shit, this is harder than y'all think.
Oh my
This
god.
is harder than you think.
Okay,
So,
would you like me to keep? Or you?
well,
you
okay.
good?
How about you? I'm gonna elaborate. I'm gonna piggyback
Okay.
on what she says. After
All
that.
right, pedicure,
Okay.
manicure,
Mm-hmm.
even just getting my nails painted by someone other than me
Yeah.
is a guilty pleasure.
Right. So guilty pleasure, and when she puts it that way, it's one of those things where
It's
feel
an act.
where it's an act, and it just you're happy about it when it's happening, and you just feel just. I honestly feel like guilt is the wrong way to put it.
It
like
really is, 'cause it's
because
not-
like you talk about guilty pleasures, it's like, look, I'm not upset or I don't feel shame for this happening.
Look, I
You know
don't
what I mean?
feel bad when we go get a pedicure because he comes with me. I don't
sure do.
feel bad.
I get my nails, my
We-
pedicure once a month.
We deserve it.
Dang straight. I don't
Um,
mind getting pedicures for
oh,
any man
oh.
that does. Shame on you.
But wait a minute. Okay, guilty pleasure.
Okay,
Here's one I actually do kind of feel guilty about.
what's that?
So, like, I'll sit there knowing that I should be doing other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I've got a lot on my plate and I need to get it done.
Yeah.
And instead, I'm sitting there watching the great ceramic.
No,
the great pottery.
Yeah.
Something on what's it on? Is it on
Netflix. I think it's on Netflix or maybe Hulu. I can't remember, but
It's like the Great British Bake Off except with pottery.
she's all about her pottery.
I love it.
And here's the thing, you know, when I sat there and I was like, she's watching pottery. This is not gonna be fun for me.
It's
So, you know, I'm like, but you know, my wife watches all the shows that I know that she's gonna be like, this is not fun. Look, I watch Teen Wolf. That's right, I said it. I watched Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf was good, though.
Right, but I'm saying like it's one of those things that you have to.
Supergirl.
Okay, look, baby, that's another podcast. Before we get into it,
It's
she's
okay.
not another podcast. When we get into it, but guilty pleasure.
You haven't even said yours yet. You can't get off the food.
Okay, you're right, because the next thing I had was going to be food.
I know.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Guilty pleasure. Here's one of my guilty pleasures.
Okay, tell me.
And this is from the military. I'll say flying. Flying is
okay.
a guilty pleasure for me, because when you're up there, it doesn't matter what you are going through. You know, everybody has that escape. And for those who don't have that escape, find one. But I can recommend flying. Everybody has that escape that when you're there, you feel like nothing can get to you. Whatever it is that you're going through doesn't matter. It is like beneath you at that moment. It's like, hey, I am one with whatever is going on right in front of me, and I am important, and I am in control, and this is what I can control right now.
I love that.
And that's what I liked about flying when I was in the military. The military, you know, it taught me a lot about, you know, flying aspect. It taught me a lot of things, but when it came to flying, it was just like, hey, your opinion is important, and we need you. You are part of a crew. So flying through that air and getting asked my opinion, saying, you think we should land? The engine's on fire. Should we land now or no? It's okay, so maybe not that question, because we know how well that would go. Of course, motherfucker. What do you think?
Scare the life out of me every time you tell me a story.
Okay, I promise that never happened, but damn near, right? So that, you know, but no, but seriously, having your opinion and just feeling in control over certain things, knowing that because my job was to pass fuel to other planes in the air. And there are times when I deployed where we get these things called TICs. And the TIC stands for, it's a TIC, it stands for Troops in Contact, meaning there could be Marines, Special Forces, or anybody on the ground, Army, Air Force, whatever, on the ground fighting, and they're getting overwhelmed, or they need air support. And what that means is that, you know, hey, we are calling for fighters to drop bombs. And what that means is that the fighter has come to you and said, I need this fuel and I need it now. There are people like our soldiers or Marines or whatever are getting shot at, and I need this fuel now. If you don't give me this fuel, people could possibly die. And so, you know, when we talk about guilty pleasure in that aspect, it's like, hey, that manner of feeling like I got a job to do and this is important and people are depending on you. And that, I guess that's one of those things that for some are like, no, that's not a guilty pleasure. That's a totally different thing. But no, to me, that is a guilty pleasure. You know, kind of like being dependent upon.
Is it because you were serene in the flying before you had to do the heavy?
Right. The flying is
okay.
I guess I dove deep into it,
No,
but the flying
it's fine.
itself was because you're like, hey, our plane was made. I flew on a plane, the KC-135, mighty KC-135, a refueler.
Big sexy.
Yeah, big sexy. And that plane was made in the 50s, and it's still going to this day. And it's still a very reliable, dependable plane. And so, because it was made in the 50s, there's a lot of things that, you know, you have to pay attention to.
Sure.
And then that right there, it just makes you feel way more satisfied in your job. And just, like I said, that was a guilty pleasure for me. And I realize that's not for everybody. That's not something that everybody experiences. So I'll take it a step further and talk about a guilty pleasure that most people have. I was gonna say food.
What else could compare? I mean,
food?
It makes my pedicure feel like shit now because you were in war.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
I got a pedicure while you were at war.
Okay. Here's a guilty pleasure here's a guilty pleasure that a lot of people can relate to when it happens to them. Happiness. And it sucks because that happiness shouldn't be a guilty pleasure.
It's not a guilty pleasure. It's something we should all strive for.
Exactly.
And fuck them.
Because given everybody know what has happened within the past year, I don't need to talk about the Rona. We all know. You know, the Rona has caused a lot of stuff within the past year, to the point where it's like, look, everybody remembers when you look outside and there wasn't a damn soul on the road. Nobody. You know,
that was my guilty pleasure.
Like
there was no traffic.
Yeah, there was no traffic out here.
It's wonderful.
It was like, it looked like a scene out of like fucking what's that zombie movie, Walking Dead. It's like when you come outside, like, where the hell is everybody? But I'm sure it looked like that in most cities too, when the Rona was at its peak, and it was like, hey, stay at home, period. So, you know, but happiness, because of the Rona and all that other stuff, everybody stayed in the house. There's a part of you that was happy, right? Because you got to spend time with family. You know, you got to spend a lot more time with your kids. And unfortunately, from that, unhappiness arose, right? So,
You said Rona, and I started coughing.
no, it's all right. Hold on. But all right, no, okay, all right.
Just saying.
She ain't got it. She ain't got it.
I'm not even gonna tease about that. But
Yeah,
seriously, I can't
so-
stop coughing now.
But that's the thing, right? Like the happiness, the Rona happened. Everybody was stuck in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to spend time with my family. Be more involved with my kids. And a lot of people realized they weren't happy. It's like, wait, but you got to spend time with your
There were a
family.
lot
and
of
your
divorces.
There was a lot of divorces that
a
came.
lot of people breaking up with people.
Yeah.
And it was really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? Because they couldn't do their guilty pleasure,
Yeah.
which was other things.
Ooh, dun 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 dun. So, but hey, we gonna let that one dwell on a few. A lot of people listening is like, and we are changing this.
God told me to tell you.
Yeah, that guy and
Stop it.
that guy and that girl listening right now. One of them is like, you know what? We don't need to listen to this.
But it's my guilty pleasure.
Hey, but it is what it is. So I can. But there were a lot of people right during that time that you would think is a time to get back to family, get back to your children. Hey, and a lot of people was like, I hate all of them.
So I'm gonna let you talk about food now because you just gone dark with the whole thing.
Well,
Trump breaking up families to war and
it's not what I was. Oh, did I go dark?
coronavirus.
My bad. Guilty pleasures. I realized.
I did pedicures and
But
Oreos.
you know what? Why don't I go back to you? Because I went.
Yeah,
Apparently, I went
let's-
dark. So, my bad.
Go back to
My
me.
bad, everybody. My bad. Let's go back to her. I'm gonna sip on my drink while she talks about it. What you got, baby?
Famine? I don't know now. I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed.
Okay, fine. So, how about one of the things we for y'all watching the video? My wife has this look on her face like, why are we continuing now? I am just depressed.
At this point, life. What's the point? I guess my life is a guilty pleasure.
That's not what I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. So, I do have a guilty pleasure, and it's not food. One of the things that happened within the past year, the Rona, was a lot of people's guilty pleasures, and that you'll see all over the news now. I don't know where you thought I was going with this.
No, I'm waiting.
I promise it's not bad.
I'm just gonna go get the sword right now
Oh,
and
is
hit
that-
myself. So I'm just waiting.
Okay, so I was gonna say stocks.
Oh, okay,
You know what I mean?
yes.
But
That is a guilty pleasure.
that's a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Cause damn.
Good
My bad.
answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
Thank you,
answer.
Vanna. I
Good,
appreciate
good.
it. Thank you.
Good answer.
Thank you, Vanna. Go ahead. So, but no, my bad. I was gonna say shit. Stocks. Man, it's a guilty pleasure. So, but no, seriously. Remember, like stocks. There was a lot of people randomly got into stocks. Robinhood blew up over the Rona.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was in the stocks. Everybody remember the GameStop. Everybody remember the cryptocurrency. You guys look at, if you're on YouTube, you look at the back of ours. We still into it. The Doge. Remember what was it? Bitcoin shot up to $63,000.
Yeah, all the meme stocks, all the revolution.
The revolution.
Viva la
Viva la revolution. Y'all know what it is, and the people have spoken. So I think that's a really good guilty pleasure.
It was. Yeah, yeah. Oh, video games.
Look.
And I feel that one. I love that. I love watching him play. I love playing.
I'm going to tell you something. I have a wife that loves watching me play some of the most boring games. And my kids think of some of the most boring games. So I'm going to tell y'all about a game that remember that game you bought me, In War, for the Xbox?
Yes.
My
and
son,
they begged me not to
they
buy
said,
it
do
for
not
him.
buy this game. It is the most terrible game. It's a game where literally the headphones hook up to your Xbox controller and you talk and tell these people what to do.
But it works. It commands
But
it.
it
I've
works.
never seen anything like that. And it was an old game. And I was like, I mean, I was playing Assassin's Creed. You're playing this. And you're saying, give a command.
Move to, artillery, or Unit 7 move to Alpha.
And it repeats back what he says.
And the people will move to Alpha. It's pretty good.
It was really cool.
It was pretty damn cool.
It was really cool.
But, but this is also why the wife has the ring. Y'all didn't hear her say Assassin's Creed. My wife's a gamer also.
I love.
She will sit here on Assassin's Creed, and because Assassin's Creed it was hard for me to get into because I felt like it was a constant, the same thing over and over again. But what video game isn't when you look at
people.
it? Yeah, well, okay.
Hey, you went dark.
No,
I can't.
Well, I was.
Like
well,
I'm
you
talking
took,
about a video game.
yes, you kind of stole the words out of my mouth. I was about to say, oh, but mine is dark. But killing
Okay.
people is cool.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So,
All right, back to video games.
video game. Hey, Assassin's Creed was awesome. We love the GTA. What? Oh,
Oh,
what do we
GTA,
do?
Yeah.
Remember we was doing the GTA, and one of our guilty pleasures we could say is playing spades or 21.
Yeah,
Blackjack
we would
in-
go to
in
the
Grand
casino,
Theft Auto.
and I would be in the living room, and he'd be in the bedroom.
Yep.
And that would be our date,
Yep.
especially during Rona, because we couldn't go anywhere.
During Rona, she would be
we
in
were
one
in a
room, I'd be in
virtual
another,
casino.
and we would get on Grand Theft Auto, and we were like, all right, look, we're at a casino, because Grand Theft Auto has a casino, and we would meet up in the casino. She'd do her character up, I'd do my character up, you know what I mean? And so we'd meet up in the casino, and we sit next to each other and play blackjack.
Yeah, we would. That
Yep.
was
And
great.
so while we sitting there eating snacks in each other's ear on the headset,
Yep.
but
Yep, that's what we did.
hey, you got to make it fun, but guilty pleasures, right? It's we all have them.
Yeah.
We all
I'm
have them.
looking around, and I see quite a few of our guilty pleasures.
Yeah, guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
If you're on our YouTube behind us, you'll notice that the DM Watts podcast was drawn. All of this was drawn. All of the streaming services was drawn, and you'll look at this blackboard. What you guys got to understand is that my wife, I told y'all before, she's an artist. She literally painted the whole wall in this black paint.
paint.
It's like chalkboard paint.
That's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah.
Is home improvements.
Home improvement, and she loves to draw.
If I can find a great little quart of paint, something's changing.
Yeah, and so, but she's amazing at it. It's not like a hobby. This is something that she is amazing at. And so, if you're on the YouTube, you know what time it is. Bring them over here. So,
so
I had to give my wife a kiss. So,
You're
but
my guilty pleasure.
and you're mine, baby.
But I don't feel guilty about it.
None whatsoever, just pleasure. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell you. But no, guilty pleasures, right? Guilty pleasures. We all have them. That drawing is something that she has. Some people have sewing. I know our mom loves to sew.
Yeah.
They're like our
Well,
mom.
She was a seamstress. Back
She
in
was
the
a
day.
seamstress and she loves to sew.
Her guilty pleasure though is well, I guess it's TV. She watches some of the. I love you, Mama.
She loves
but-
it. What is it? My 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, she watches
She's,
90 Day
oh,
Fiance.
Lord.
I just yeah. I
And-
can't.
Yep. And my mom, that's her mom. My mother, I almost want to say my mother's guilty pleasure is one that I can contest with. We both can contest with. My mom's guilty pleasure is Jesus.
She don't feel guilty. About
She don't
it.
feel guilty about it, but it's a great one.
No, it is.
And
It's
when I
great.
talk about guilty pleasure, it's more of a pleasure that some people can feel guilty about this, but
I
she
can
don't.
sometimes feel guilty because she's at church for 8 hours,
Yes.
and I feel guilty that I'm not there for 10 minutes.
I'm not. Man, I would say that's another podcast, but we'll go and speak on it. When I was coming up, I'd be in church from 9 to, depending on who was preaching, 2 to 3:30. And I'm like, hey, God understands.
True.
Like, he knows we love him. I don't think it took this long, 5 or 6 hours to tell the Lord that we love him. So,
Well,
that's my thoughts.
there's
But,
that.
yeah, hey, but anyway,
I have another guilty pleasure.
go ahead with it, baby.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
And I have another one. Watching makeup videos on Facebook.
Oh, that's a good one. The
Yes.
makeup videos. So
I'll be sneaking one in. You'd be like, baby, what you looking at?
So
Nothing.
I gotta tell y'all, my wife. So I went on Amazon and I bought my wife this makeup. Baby, it had like 50. It was like 20 different.
It was a palette.
Yeah, it was like 20, 25 different shades and of makeup.
And I don't buy makeup like that. I'm a
Like,
drugstore makeup girl.
like
I don't
colors
care.
and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. It wasn't very expensive. I think it was maybe like 30 something bucks or something
Yeah.
like that, if that.
It was just cool. It had all the
This
colors.
woman locked herself into the bathroom.
I did.
I didn't see her for about an hour and
It
a
was
half.
great.
And I'm sitting there playing my game, the Avengers. I'm like, I get the time to myself to play the game. Not that she doesn't give me that time normally, but I'm like, normally she's right there. And I'm like, okay, first 10 minutes, like, just me and the Avengers. You know what I mean? And then 15 minutes, like, it's just me and the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? And then like 25 minutes, it's like, wow, it's just me.
Hey, baby.
The Avengers. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, babe, you all right in there? Yes. She's just, like, the thing is, she's happy with being by herself in there. I'm over here. I got the dogs, the game, everything. A man is like, yeah, me and my man cave. I don't need nothing.
Not
and I'm
getting
sitting there
bitched
like,
at for
yeah, and
nothing.
I'm like 25 minutes in. I'm like, baby, did you see I died like 12 times already? Like, I'm sorry, talking to myself like that's crazy, right? That's crazy that I died on that one. That's like the 8th, the 12th time I died.
You did.
Mind you, I'm talking to the dog, and the dog's looking at me like, you are aware that I'm a dog. Like I'm a service dog. That doesn't mean I understand English. So now by around the 32nd minute, I'm like, baby. She's like, yeah, honey. You okay in there? Yeah, I'm just loving this thing. And she hit me with the thing that a man can't come back and be mad at. It was like, I'm just loving what you bought me. This is so amazing. I love you. Thank you so much. And you like, see, I can't get mad at that. You said, like, damn you for saying that. I have nothing to say against that. There's nothing you can say. I'm like, oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, she really appreciative. Shit.
I know one of your guilty pleasures.
Go ahead.
Phone game. Emergency whatever service game.
I don't even know the name of the game. I'm gonna pick up the phone to tell y'all real quick. What is it called? It's
45 minutes.
It's called
every time.
It's called EMHQ.
Twice a day.
Look, I'm a prior
He goes
firefighter,
away.
so every firefighter will tell you, even when they off duty, they will do everything still with firefighting. If there's a game that has firefighting on it, a firefighter owns it. If there's an app with firefighting, a firefighter owns it. If there's an app about EMT medical stuff, a firefighter has it. If there's a tool that he can order, he has it on his keychain. You will know a firefighter. He will have every sticker on his car that says, I am a firefighter. He will have a license plate that says he is a firefighter. He will wear a shirt that says he is a firefighter. I don't have mine on today.
I'm surprised.
But what could I say? But it's once a firefighter, always a firefighter. But we all got those guilty pleasures. Firefighting is definitely one of mine. Yeah. You know what I mean? But what about our kids? I know one of our sons.
They're not a guilty pleasure.
No, but I can tell you that our son has a guilty pleasure that he likes.
What?
And he does it for us, and he does it for everybody. The sharpening of the knives.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean,
he does. He loves to sharpen.
He
knives.
loves to sharpen knives.
He loves to sharpen things that aren't knives and make them sharp as a knife, and be like, "Hey, look, now it's a knife.
Now touch it." No.
Don't brush your hair, Mom. His is like a primitive flow beat. It's like, is it a comb? Is it a knife? Is it a comb? Is it a knife?
Don't try and find out. This is your warning. This is your warning.
It's the death pick.
Yeah, but guilty pleasures, we all have them, guys. What are some of y'all guilty pleasures? You guys know the email, dmwatspodcast@gmail.com. Definitely go ahead and hit us up with some of your guilty pleasures.
Facebook. DM Watts Podcast. Instagram. DM Watts Podcast.
I would tell you on the Gmail, dmwatchpodcast@gmail.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't say it on that. But Facebook, you type in DM Watts, we the only ones pop up.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't know that. Because there's
Spotify, right?
So there's a DM Watts out there that's an actual person's name.
Yes.
And they took Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's their name.
So, I mean, we can't be mad at that.
And they took the Gmail. And that's why ours is DM Watts Podcast.
We had no idea. This goes to show, and there's
and they're allowed.
They're YouTube too.
Oh yeah, they have a YouTube. So ours, DM Watts Podcast at YouTube is YouTube.
Right, DM Watts Podcast.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube, it's DM Watts Podcast. So you guys, if you're listening on the podcast, DM Watts Podcast or the YouTube, when you get on there, make sure you guys subscribe. You know what I mean? We look forward to seeing more people on there, and it'd be great.
Yeah, no, it would be. And I mean, we get it, yeah. But we also need topics for the fishbowl.
Of course.
And maybe specific ones, so it's not guilty pleasures and food and war and famine and.
I didn't mention famine. I didn't mention anything about famine because food goes to show you that I didn't mention anything about famine at all. So let's go ahead and say
Okay. Are we done? I think we're done. I'm done.
All right. So the wifey's done. I'm done. But you guys know where to find us. We said it before. We'll say it again. dmwattspodcast@gmail.com. You guys definitely look us up. You know what I mean? And definitely you guys know where to find us. So signing off for DM Watts, I am Davie.
I'm Misti.
And you guys, please take it easy out there. We'll see you later, all right?